So we've not cooked brisket on the channel before. I have cooked plenty of briskets in my time over the years, let me tell you for sure. Today we're going to show you how to trim a brisket, kind of competition style in the respect of if you've got a nice big fat cap and you've got loads of intramuscular fat, how to trim it, get that off. With that being said, we're going to use a nice Mercer knife, totally cheap. I've had this about 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, I don't know. I've sharpened it a few times. As you'll see in the video, it cuts through like butter. It's a great bit of kit, nice and cheap. There's no point in having a posh knife for trimming at all, in my opinion. So with that being said, let's get going. Let's get trimming this brisket. We've got to get the real flat meat out. We've got to trim it out because purely you're going to lose it. Anything that's really, really thin, you're just going to lose it. So you might as well take it off, trim it off, put it away for another day, freeze it, bag it, use it for sausage or burgers or anything like that. So with that being said, around the back, we're just gonna cut around there. There's a thin bit flapping off there, so we're gonna go down there. There's a huge chunk of fat there that actually opens up into even more. So let's just trim that off. Now, if you flip it over, you'll see there's a huge amount of fat there. So we're going to have to get that off because that's not going to render down. As you can see, that is literally just fat, all of that. So, trim again. Again, just fat. Okay, so we're getting into meat there. What we'd do is we just I'm just trying to curve it round because obviously we're going to get into meat there at some point. Not just yet though. As you can see, that's getting pretty close now, so you need a fat cap on it because it helps protect it, and also if you've got a nice thin layer of fat, it's going to render down nicely and give you flavour. So we go round here. There's a lot of fat there. Just chop that in half to show you. So we're getting there. Just going to go in there and then back out because, as you can see, there's a huge chunk of fat there. So just try and go with the brisket in the shape that it's going in and out. Just a little bit there. I mean, all this is all along here and along here, this feels very soft, so just there's not too much to be taken off now. Don't want to scalp it. What you're doing is you can feel, so when it feels soft, that's when you know you can stop there. So we'll go round like that. There's quite a bit of hard fat here. I'll show you on this camera. I'm going to go in there and just take a bit of that out. Again, feeling as we go. That feels soft there. It's a little bit hard there. Just going to go a little bit more. Right, getting a bit close there, so I'm going to stop that there. Go in there. Again, trying to follow in that. Okay, just a tiny bit more. Right, I don't want to go too much more on that. Let's flip it over. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a skull there, we can't help that. I'm not going to trim that away. There's a little bit of silver skin. I'm not going to go mad. And as you can see, there's a fair bit of intramuscular fat. You can tell by looking in here and in between. You can see that this is a nice brisket in the regards of intramuscular fat. So I'm going to stop there. I'm pretty happy with that. Might just take a tiny bit off that. I can feel it's hard there, so as I say, you'll get a feel for it. You can feel the difference. Hard, soft, hard, soft. That's now soft. I don't really want to take much more off of that. But this is quite hard. A lot of people might be thinking, you've just spent all that money on that brisket and you're taking off loads. But yeah, there's a lot of fat there, there's some meat there. As I say, you can use that to make beef tallow, burgers and sausages, all good. I'm not going to trim that off. I'm going to leave that as it is. Just take a tiny bit out of that because that is rock hard. And that, he says, is about as far as I'm going to take it. So I just want to clean that off. So now, as you can see, the flat, there's some thick parts of fat, but it's soft, so I'm happy with that. But as you can see, it's fairly thick around there. That's as far as I'm going. He says, let's take a tiny bit out of that. Let's do the old chud scrape. To be fair, that does work really well. Good old Bradley Robinson. That's what you get for watching other YouTubers, learning the tricks of the trade. Something he come up with, pretty sure he come up with it anyway. The old chud scrape. Clean it off, give it a good smooth finish, clean it off. Right, okay. So personally, just a little bit more. I mean, I'm not so much trying to make this aerodynamic. A lot of people do, because if you're going to put this in like an offset with the flow, convention flow going across, it does help to make it aerodynamic. personally, this is going to be going in the Weber Summit, and there's no need for aerodynamics because it's just going to be, you know, all over. So yeah, but the main thing is trimming it in the respect of getting rid of that real thin stuff that is going to just get wasted if you don't trim it off. It's going to get to the point where you cook it up, people are going to be eating and go, oh, it's a bit crusty, that's a bit dry, what's the point in that? So yeah, what's the point in that? Take it off, reutilise it and use it for another day. So all that will be frozen up, tallow and all that sort of business. Keep saying it, but yeah. Okay, so fairly happy with that. As I say, this is a Brazilian brisket from John Davidson's. He imports a lot of stuff, and grass-fed briskets in the UK can be really super flat along the flat, lean as anything because they're grass-fed. It's not to say it's not good meat, it's quality meat, but you do want, when you're doing a long cook, some intramuscular fat to give you good flavour. So there you go guys, that's how I do it anyway. I've got to say, that old chud scrape, I don't know whether it was him who come up with that, but that's a good trick. One thing I didn't mention, and you'll probably notice, there's two tiny marks on that flat where you can see just slightly I've almost scalped it. One thing I didn't show you in that trimming video is when you're slicing along, if you look, always like peel it up and have a look what you're doing. If you can see you've gone into meat, back up, cut that way across and then start again. That way you won't just keep going into the meat. And that is exactly what I did in that video. I was like, oh, cut back, go across and then carry on. Another little trick I didn't actually show within the video. Anyway, hope you liked the video. Please remember to give it the old thumbs up if you liked it. Let YouTube know that you're liking what you see. Moving forward, loads going on this year, cannot wait, super excited. So much going on, it's unbelievable. So go outside and cook something exceptional. And I'll tell you what, I'll see you when I see you. Cheers guys. And I gotta say, you know, cheap Mercer knife, you could see in there, done the trick, does it every time. Good old bit of kit, nice and cheap, 14 quid, something like that it costs, but yeah, nice one.